We want to thank you for joining us today here at We want to thank you for joining us today here at. Oh, shut up! I'm gonna get it. We want to thank you here for joining us today here. So moving on to our other, to our next. What the hell is this shit again? Moving on to our next. What? As well as the entered. As well as so that we. You think I could do radio?
You had to pay for it.
That's. Oh God, I hate you.
What's new?
Because I need therapy.
Can you tell the difference in the quality of the video?
Unfortunately, yes, you can see your face clear.
What are you doing?
I am standing because I am getting swamp ass.
Dude, the one cheek sneak doesn't work when everybody's staring at you. Did you not notice I increased the size significantly?
No,
oh my goodness.
I'm also dyslexic, Gert.
What?
The system is down. If you have any feedback, other tips and tricks, or topics you'd like to discuss, please send them to us.
Looking to send your characters to a place most regular folk won't go? Well, we're going to delve into dangerous destinations today. A place to terrorize your characters and your players. Hello and welcome, heroes, to episode 296 of the Crit Academy podcast. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Ian.
I'm your co-host, Brandon.
We hope to inspire you with creative content for you to bring with you on your next D&D adventure. I am really excited for this book, you guys. What is your first impressions right out the gate for those of you that actually looked at it?
Tables, the book.
Simple and accurate. But it's a great tables.
450 pages of them.
Yes, you can see we got the book right here. It almost didn't fit in my stand because it's so big.
Hey, you guys are just seeing the front of it. It's this big.
Yeah,
It's a big boy. It's not even coming out of the stand.
It's stuck in the stand.
So I'm really excited to talk a little bit about it. There's some really great stuff. The book is by Nord Games. If you're not checking out their content, what the hell? Nord Games makes some amazing books. We have talked about stuff from their Settlers book that they previously made. This is kind of a sequel to it. And this book is broken down into what? 4 main categories? 5?
5.
To help dungeon masters and game masters to flesh out their world. And what's really interesting is it's more like a collection of suggestions that are designed to provoke thought, right?
Yep.
And it does it in such a way. And in fact, the book actually talks about if you roll on your tables and you get things that are contradictions, don't re-roll. Instead, try to find a way to explain why it is that way. It's kind of a creative challenge for the game masters, don't you guys?
It certainly can be.
So, what were your guys' kind of thoughts looking at some of this stuff as we dig right into it?
You definitely have quite a few options to pull from, and yeah, and obviously you can use this for not just D&D very easily, but really any fantasy RPG. Shoot, probably even some non-fantasy in some cases.
It's very system agnostic in a lot of different ways, and I think that makes it a valuable tool even for writers. If you're looking to write your own story and build your own world, this really gives you everything you need to get going. So the very first thing it starts off is the prelude, and the prelude contains only 4 tables. It's actually relatively small, but it basically gives you some general ideas to let your brain marinate in, which can really help with the concept of building your dangerous destinations. And so we're going to talk about some of those details right now. So one of the first tables that it really does talk about is the theme, right? The theme of the adventure. Brandon, what are a couple of the themes that really jumped out at you to make that could spur those insightful and creative D&D juices.
D&D juices.
Oh yeah,
He's really an analogy today, isn't he?
I'm
every
looking at
day.
all of them, and really, the first one, love.
Yep.
Love.
That's not something you see
Give me
very.
some energy. Why love?
It's not a common thing you find in D&D.
Okay, so how would you put love as the core theme of your story? I can think of a really great example right off the bat.
Well, go ahead then.
Romeo and Juliet, right?
Yeah.
I haven't read through that since I was in like middle school, but when I went through it, isn't the whole story that they're from two different kingdoms, but they love each other,
Yeah,
and the
two different
kingdoms are at war?
rival games.
Yeah.
It could be rival gangs, right? Who have two love interests that are like the children of the groups or something like that, which I think is really good. We got a couple questions that we'll touch on. Silver Wolf's thinking the exact same thing. Of course, great minds think like me.
Not the new one. The one with Leo. You'll get cancer if you watch that.
Anyways, so that's a pretty good one. What's another example of love that we can fit into our theme for our adventure?
Comic Thanos.
Who?
The comic book version of Thanos.
Okay, do you want to expand to our lovely audience that probably has no idea what you're talking about? I mean, I do because I love it.
Well,
Love it to death.
Yeah.
But
Well, in the comic books, he's actually in love with death, which is why he destroyed half of the known
Oh, yeah.
universe,
hmm
to attract her attention.
that's a great story.
Yeah.
I was thinking of what's his name? Batman adversary, Freeze.
Mr. Freeze. Yes, that's
Yeah.
another great example. Why don't you elaborate to the audience? Give it some attitude.
Give it some attitude.
Yeah.
Fucking Freeze. Check this out. Fucking Freeze. He's not necessarily a bad guy, but he's got his wife in a stasis and she has a disease that's not curable, and he's keeping her that way in order to find a cure for her. And I can't remember why he's
Stealing?
not
'Cause he can't
not
pay
stealing,
for it.
Not stealing, but why he is Freeze. Why he's got the ailment of being cold.
An accident during
Something.
the cryostasis of his wife, wasn't it? Something like that.
It depends on which
Anyways,
reboot you
so
go
those
by.
are some really great examples where love is the core theme, and it doesn't have to be a love of the characters, but somebody outside of the story, right?
Yep.
So why don't you tell us a little bit? Do we want to pick another theme, or do we want to move on?
There's a lot to look at.
Yeah, there's a lot. That's just one of them. But you can already see how the juices were flowing and how we had some creative ideas that we can pull from, right? What about the next table there, Ian? For the prelude, we have the previous presence. Is there something on there that if you just pick one randomly that sounds good?
Well, I've been trying to download the PDF on my phone, but it keeps being rejected.
Road.
All right, so
There we go.
You gotta open it and drive.
Yeah, no.
I,
It's a really big file.
Yeah, no.
it's 450 pages
okay,
of awesome.
All right. Ooh, playfulness or recklessness. Something
Ooh,
different.
What is that?
All right. Disregard and abandon enjoyment on acting in such a way that it disregards consequences.
Is that a theme or is that
Yeah.
okay? So you did pick another theme. All right,
Yeah.
that's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
one. What kind of comes to mind there?
Once again, using the whole Thanos thing as an example, because we did kind of wipe out half the known universe. That definitely had a huge domino effect.
And I think that's part of it. So I'm stuck on the Batman thing now because Freeze is kind of my jams. I don't care what anybody says about Batman and Robin. I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger's Freeze.
Chill.
But anyways, plus 10 cool points. So what's cool about the playfulness or the recklessness? Poison Ivy is a lot like this with the recklessness, right? She wants to save the plants of nature, and she doesn't care what else dies in the process.
Yep.
That's very reckless, right? And I think that's something we can jump off of quite a bit when it comes to a theme of the story.
What came to mind for me too, although I didn't need to watch the series, there's like a series called Wakfu, which is like basically a French fantasy animated series.
Yes!
It's really well animated.
But the entire premise there is like, if I recall correctly, the villain's like main motivation is he's caused a lot of destruction, but his motivation was his family was killed, and he's trying to basically gain power so he can travel back in time and save them.
Save them.
And he doesn't care about the consequences of what he's doing in the present, because the way he sees it, once he goes back in time, it all will change, and therefore it doesn't matter anyway.
And I think stories like that are awesome because people can relate.
Yeah.
We all have somebody that we would do anything for.
Yep.
and so it's not uncommon that we wouldn't be reckless in the process. So all right, so moving on to the prelude, we also have previous presence.
Yep.
So this alludes to filling the world or the area, the dangerous destination, with something that has been there before the current events. And that's great because that gives us a very powerful history check for our player characters that love that lore and knowledge, right?
Yep.
So the first one of the ones I want to talk about, I mean, there's lots of good stuff. Oh, he's rolling a die. Did you get a 7?
7. Training grounds.
Okay, so in the past it was used for training grounds, which I think is cool. What kind of training grounds are there besides just soldiers?
And it says
Monks.
a certain discipline, so it could be anything.
Okay, so monks is a really good one.
Yep.
So perhaps the story we're developing is based around love, and in the past, 2 lovers from this monastery broke their vow of celibacy, and it has tainted the land with their love. Wow, that's
I was like, you did not think that one through.
do I ever?
No.
But I think it's really good. So this gives us now we've got a good theme, we've got a good previous presence, and that builds on once again the lore aspect of D&D or whatever RPG you're playing, right? Which I think is really really good. And in this case, we have it could be a monk training ground. Maybe you got a monk in your party. And maybe they can learn a new technique, or maybe they haven't picked up their third class archetype yet in D&D. In this place, they might find a scroll with a powerful technique that teaches them the way of the
Yep.
sun monk. What is the sun monk?
Sun Soul.
Sun Soul. So there's ways to easily we can leverage it. How would you guys leverage the training ground in your story as a previous presence?
Ooh, assassins, thieves.
Ooh, that's really good. I like that.
Yep. Like maybe inside the monastery itself is a vault, but you can only open the vault once you learn the secrets of the training that the monks would have to undergo.
Ooh, that's really good. Brandon, you got anything?
I was thinking like there's just a small library somewhere of spells that you've not learned yet, and like there's books that
Okay.
you can read from. But I like Ian's idea better.
Very cool, very cool. So now that we've gotten through the previous presents, and there's a couple different ones on here like dumping ground and resource abundance, magical passages, which I think is great. What did you get for our dangerous destination type, Brandon?
I had a continued presence.
You got a continued presence. That's not a destination type.
No, it's not. Destination is a
Relig- I mean, are you in the right spot?
Well, you did jump ahead to the next page.
Yeah.
So,
This has a religious site is number 7.
which fits the monastery.
10. A settlement.
A settlement. So a settlement is pretty simple, right? A place constructed with, the intent and purpose as a place for a community to live. So this sets out the idea that the area was a residence at one is a residence now, but it used to be what?
Training grounds.
It used to be a training grounds. So how does the training ground history impact the development of the settlement?
There's no stairs. So you have no parkour to get to the next floor.
Well, I think that's really cool. I don't know that commoners would do that, but I can see groups of lifts and stuff because the monks did do that, right?
Yep.
They didn't have stairs. They had to Mario jump off the side and climb up, right? Or Mega Man or whatever platformer.
I mean, it's an option, so yeah.
No, and I think it's a great option.
You know what this
And-
makes me think of? What we've come up so far is the Jade Palace from Kung Fu Panda. It's a training grounds. It's where the 5 warriors live,
Mhm.
and then there was the settlement, the city that was built around it,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
everything's based on the Kung Fu warriors.
That's awesome.
And think about how difficult that place will be to invade.
Right. Kind of reminds me of the air nomad temple in Avatar: Last Airbender, where it's on the side of a sheer cliff, and you can only get there either by really really long ropes or gliding, basically, or bending air, right? So that gives us some pretty good stuff. So now we really want to touch on what does the book have to offer in the next sections here. So we only touched on what? The prelude, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So in the next section we have the destinations.
Been 20 minutes.
Now, yeah. So in the destinations, they give you a nice collection of unique locations, right? And some of them are pretty common, right? A religious site, a hideout, an outpost. But it's what they do with it once they are you get to that section, right? They go into great detail and even give you everything you need to make that area specifically unique. So instead of it just being, which one do we want to talk about here? Do you want to roll a die or?
All right, I mean, just to give a quick example, like the first entry in here is burial ground, right?
Okay, that's a good one.
And right off the bat, you basically have two options: crypt or graveyard. But then you have location, which would be settlement, outskirts, edge, nearby, day's journey, remote, which can also go into what for crypts anyway. What kind of structure is it? Natural tunnels, reinforced, organized, crude, engineered tunnels. And then how?
And each of these has like
Yeah.
brief descriptions that you can read into. Why don't
yeah.
we delve into one of
I
those
was gonna say,
specifically?
Burial Grounds, this specific
Okay.
snippet from page 12 to 19 contains 19 tables just for it.
Yeah.
Just for the burial ground.
Yeah.
Yes.
It also contains stuff like the size, condition, interment method, concentration of
See,
dead.
that's interesting because I don't really think about that. I always just
What?
think they're in boxes, like
Yeah.
coffins, right?
Yep.
I've never thought of using like urns or what are some of the other ones that they did for internment here? They had some pretty good ones. I'm trying to find it on my thing here. Internment method, cremation.
Yep.
So
Oh.
how do they how is it represented? How is the cremation done? Is it just by a general fire, or maybe they worship, flame elementals or something like that, and their cremation process is just feeding an elemental?
Drop them in acid.
That's terrifying.
I know both of those are good. I'm thinking Mortal Kombat now with the acid. Time for your death. Be cremated. I don't think that's what that is.
A mass burial ground.
Okay. Ooh.
That throws up some red flags.
They dig a hole, drop a body in there, then plant a tree on top of it.
What? A train?
A tree.
A tree.
A tree.
That way, later on, when the
And then-
druid does
and
speak
then-
with plants,
And then it's a forest.
A forest that's been raised by dead people?
No, a forest where all the trees are.
it's a cemetery with the stones or trees.
Oh, that's really cool. I've actually saw that they're really doing that. You can make your body the life of a tree.
Yep.
And you grow into a tree.
Eventually, that
that's
haunted
awesome.
forest.
Andrew,
Right.
There's a whole colony of people who have themselves buried ass up when they die, so the rest of the world can kiss it.
Plus 10 cool points, Andrew.
That's
I
fine.
like that.
Yeah.
Joey actually mentioned a physical black market and illegal items for the previous settlement. I think that's a good idea. We don't see enough of, right? So, what are some other ones? Obviously, we can't go. We're not going to talk about all the different
No.
things in this section, but it is worth noting that there's so many options for each and every one. You've got pages and pages, and even including how old is it, right? You roll on this table.
Yep.
Is it ancient or old? New, something that's been built in the last 50 years, because that's going to impact the way it's designed and the way that it's used in your stories and campaigns, which I think is something that we really we don't focus on enough.
And as Brandon said, this is basically just 7 pages of just burial grounds alone.
And destinations consist of 12 destinations from pages 10 to 78.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the different details of them. What are some of the examples in the beginning? I know there's ritual sites, right, which is an outpost. So there's a lot of different things that they go into. So I'm looking here at the next one, which is just a camp. Now that to me is interesting because I would have never thought a camp as a sort of dangerous destination. Would you?
Yeah.
It is
of
an
course I
enemy
would.
camp.
A what?
It is an enemy camp.
Okay. Damn it, you guys! You guys are ruining my fun here. So
You make it so easy sometimes.
It makes it even worse when the party comes up on a camp where it's obvious a lot of people are supposed to be here and there's no one there. That would bring up some worry.
no ass up.
Ooh, one of the camps at the disease colony.
Ooh. It's like
It's a
a
colony of lepers.
containment camp, right? All these people been infected by something, so they're like
Yep.
locked inside. Is that one of the options?
Quarantine.
It is now. No.
Of course, you got the different sizes, whether it's tight and everyone has 2 people to a tent and they're really tiny. We've all slept in those little tiny 2 people tent, right?
Yep.
2-person tent. It also gives you conditions. What is it? Is it trashed? And it talks about the camp is in disarray. There's debris everywhere, scattered around. And it shows type of people that are going to be there, right? Or setting up camp, right? I think this is really great for filling out an area for characters to just wander into, right? They also give the organization, how well was it planned out?
Yep.
Um, how well was it planned out, right? And so, is it, disgraceful? The camp appears to have been basically set up at random. That's going to make it very difficult to find anything you might be looking for, right?
Yep.
As opposed to if it's well organized. What are let's move on to the next point because the locations is good, but the environment is what's going to change. Now, Justin, aren't those the same thing? No, they're not. And they go into quite a bit of detail. So you can have a headquarters in an aquatic environment. You can have one in a jungle, in a mountain, in a plains. And each one of these comes with a massive variety of unique options. Brandon, I see you scrolling through. Do you want to pick one out of the part 2 environments?
Still correct. There's a lot. Okay. I'll go to the next one. I just slide to. There's a lot of tables in these. I found mountain.
Okay, tell us about how we can make our mountain interesting. Now, remember, we still have a theme, right? Our theme is love, right? And then it's followed by what was our other
Sorry.
a monastery,
Yeah, training
with
grounds.
training grounds,
Settlement.
and then we just picked our it's now a burial ground on a mountain. Give us some details about the mountain. This is really it's rolling out to be a good monk story. I like it. You got a 1.
Okay. It's a lone mountain.
What page you on?
133.
Okay.
It is a small mountain.
What is a small mountain? Like a hill?
I don't know.
1,000 feet.
Low
1,000
slope.
feet?
The destination is located on a slope on the bottom third of the mountain.
Ooh.
+1 the trail size roll.
Plus,
fuck?
plus 1 to trail size. So, what's really cool is it goes beyond that to even get into the different terrains, right? So, what kind of terrain we looking at? We got a 20 on our die. Woohoo!
A spire. There's a spire. Notable environmental feature. A tall, narrow growth of tapering stone or ice. 1d10 by d10. Or 1d10 by 10 feet.
Ooh.
High.
High. Yeah, that's how high it is.
Is it?
I wanna do
Okay,
that.
so now we've
That's
got a
really high.
monastery that used to be here, that was a training ground,
Yep.
that's now a burial ground with a massive spire protruding out from it. And the terrain is earthen. The area in the around the destination has soil and plant life, grass, trees, etc., and it's difficult to traverse. So this is a great opportunity. Me, I like magical stuff, so I like having grab grass and something like this. If you don't know what grab grass is, it's out of our fantastic terrain book, where when somebody gets knocked prone, it literally grapples them. It's horrible. Put them in with a creature that knocks them down, and it's nightmare fuel.
Yep.
So we've got a really good story going on here. I think we're on the right track. If anybody in the audience, Andrew talks about a camp for a group of giants that would be very dangerous. Latrine.
You could drown in it.
Man, what is that? Is that a big pile of? That's the latrine.
Oi, that's my grog.
What? I got
Hobbit.
it. Yeah,
It's from the
I
Hobbit.
got it. Anyway, so you got this big giant spire. So what stands out about the spire to fit our theme here?
The mountain is a train ground. The higher you get, the greater your rank, and the fallen are buried along the way.
Ooh,
The
and they're
top
all
of the-
ass up.
The top of the spire is the training grounds.
That is cool.
That's a Mortal Kombat shit. Right
Hi.
Fatality. And all the debris on the ground isn't debris. It's like fossilized corpses.
So what kind of training did you guys do up there? First rule of Popo's training. Do not talk about Popo's training.
That's
Squares
good
make a
stuff.
circle.
All right, so there's lots of options with the environments. Of course, what good is a dangerous destination without what, you guys?
Weather.
Enemies?
Yeah, dangers, right? So the next part sends us into dangers. What?
I'm in danger.
So part 3, dangers. We have quite the different variety of dangers. It's worth noting that Nord Games really does distinguish between intelligent monsters and humanoids in this, which I think is a distinction I don't usually make, and I see why they did it, and I think it was a good call. But also, is the impact based on a specific item? Are you going to give us a roll to determine which one we're looking at here, B?
Let's see. I've looked at environmental danger beasts. I came up with a
Beasts?
giant elk.
A giant elk.
Yes.
So what is a
for one of
giant
them.
elk doing on this mountain? Of course, it's a mountain. It's an elk. Could you have got anything more generic? What else do
Well,
they
let's look
got?
at number 4 on
He
the
wrote for it.
unintelligible monsters. Chimera.
Ooh, I like that. You should have went with that one.
That sounds a little better. We'll go Chimera.
Well, no, we don't want to do that because it tells us not to change it once you pick something.
Well, then we'll do a giant elk and a chimera.
No, just a giant elk.
Ah,
The
fuck.
chimera is made from the corpses of the fallen monks who failed their training.
Oh my god, that's disturbing.
Oh my goodness. Dude, you could totally give it all the ninjas from Mortal Kombat abilities. Scorpions, get over here! Sub-Zero breathing ice, right?
Mhm.
Reptile does the acid, goes invisible. Oh man, a chimera that goes invisible. That is some monk level shit right
Intelligent
there.
creatures. But you.
Well, hang on, we're still trying to get through the one. How are we going to make this elk fit into our theme?
It's the gatekeeper.
It's the gatekeeper. It's a beast.
Yeah,
Doesn't
but
it's not magical.
Isn't it like a glowing beast or something like that? It's like a god of woodland or something.
I have
It's
no idea.
It's mentioned in
It's a monk in love with the giant.
Oh, I like that.
Dragonlance.
What about it?
There's a golden stag or something like that in the book. I can't remember what it was for.
Andrew says there's a significant overlap in the intelligence of the smartest beasts and the dumbest people.
It has been proven with bear-proof trash cans that bears can figure out how to open, and many people can't.
Derp.
Is the monk in love with the giant?
Oh, I like that. So we got some really good ideas here for the elk. I think what I would do in this case to make the elk a bit of danger, I would probably give him his own, make him like a leader, like an alpha, or like a leader of others, right? So there's swarms of, elk in this burial ground, and now you've got something in the area that. What are some other roles you can make on that table that are related to the
Giant,
monster?
giant elk out of the mountain.
I could totally see that.
All right, from chat.
Oh, that's a really good one, Wizard Cadius. I like that. Good to see you back. I feel like it's been a while.
Yep.
Maybe I just haven't noticed. No slam on you at all. What page are you on? 183, 180
I'm
something.
on 137.
So many pages.
Ah,
But anyways, another thing I think you could do is I would give the elk some sort of unique ability that fits the mountain theme. Maybe smashing a ram attack is pretty common,
Yep.
but maybe it uses it to like ram into boulders and create avalanches or something.
Or knock people off
Andrew
cliffs.
says a steel horn elk. His antlers are made of actual metal.
Ooh, made of adamantine. Adamantine. So now, should the characters actually beat it?
You have a prized animal.
Well, no, they can melt it down to make adamantine weapons, which are used to overcome some resistances. And it turns out that the monks did the same thing. They created their weapons by melting or using the horns of dead elk to make their weapons.
Although smart monks would know that they would leave the elk alive because, at least with deer, antlers fall off
I was
every winter.
thinking of that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Elk
so the
antlers fall
first
off
thing
every
you
winter?
do when you talk Dungeons and Dragons, you immediately drop real world
shit.
stuff because they're made of metal. They're not just gonna fall off, right?
My actual antlers fall off every year; they only grow them back. So
Yes, but they're not made of metal.
but they leave the elk alive. They'll get more antlers every year.
Dude, does a magical D&D
That actually fits in really
steel?
well with what's his name's black market shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause now they're
yes.
harvesting elk, not killing every year. They drop their antlers and like, okay, let's make some weapons out of these and sell this shit.
Oh, I love it. Damn it, Ian. I gotta give you credit for that when I was just gonna give you a hard time.
Whereas poachers are killing them off, not knowing any better. Well, they must be like, you idiots!
That's a good point.
So, what we didn't really talk about some of the beast tables here. So aside from the creature that you're getting, there's different states that the creature can enter. When you roll from it, is it a confused creature? Is it displaced? Is it violent? Is it hungry? Is it escaped from somewhere?
Yep.
These are all different ways that you can build on to drive home the fact that this is a unique creature and a unique situation. Um, and what's interesting about this is it even includes local mindset of a creature, right? So it says, what is the mindset of the locals in regards to this particular creature? People that aren't in that area but are around it and have seen it. So now you're building up story and lore and rumors that you can share with your player characters through the NPCs,
Yep.
which I
Welcome
think
to
is
the
fabulous.
town. May I give you a suggestion? Don't go into those woods. That's where the steel elk lives. You can find
The
more
what?
help at the top of the mountain, but be careful.
I'm sorry, a steel elk, you say?
Oh shit! I'm not going to be responsible for the death of another party. I just leave.
How many parties have actually gone seeking out this creature and have not returned?
Too many.
2 minute count. You see all those trees over there? That's a graveyard.
Great throwback. I love it.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, so I see that we're getting close on time here.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, 140 of
We
450.
passed the time.
Did we? No, we gave ourselves extra time.
Ugh.
We cut out some material previously. So,
Eh.
all right, so that is the first three. There's another one that's really important, and that is the antagonists, right? So about halfway through the book, we get to actual antagonists, right? Which I think is a pretty good, pretty good, uh, details about
214.
how detailed this book is with the different uh,
That's a big attack.
tables, right?
Mhm.
And what is some of the
Archetypes.
antagonists that jump? What's different about the antagonist that jumps out at you guys? I noticed we have an archetype, strengths and weaknesses that also includes goals. That's all one
And there's
table,
goals.
right? So when you roll on this D, is it a D12 here?
The D12.
For instance, roll us a D12, Brandon. We'll pick one to talk about.
Derp.
Yep.
That's
Number
a 3.
A
So we
magician.
got a magician. So this means their strength obviously is strategic. They're smart and experienced, which means they should be able to easily outwit your players in most cases. Because
Yep.
all right, sorry.
Uh,
What else do we got for weaknesses?
there's strengths, optimistic, imaginative, and pure. Huh. Weakness, 7 again.
Is
Uh,
hubris, anger, and ready to sacrifice.
Naive.
And their goal is to gain power and influence the world. So now we've got a dangerous ass elk
Knowledge.
that's guarding an area, and there is a wizard
Yep.
or a mage of sorts that's leveraging that to be kept in peace while he, plans and schemes and stuff.
Yep.
So,
Holy
um,
shit, wizard.
what?
What if you did that? There's thunderstorm with steel elk lightning possibility. What if you gave the elk like that ability to actually
Call lightning.
use lightning or call lightning?
Oh, that's awesome. That's some Final Fantasy X shit. What is that? That Aeon's name? Ixion? That does the lightning horns and
It's a
shit.
really big. I can't remember.
May just getting else by cooking their brains with heat metal.
Shit, that's brutal.
Yeah.
All you see is just like their bodies
Like
melted.
they use call lightning to strike themselves, and on the next turn they
They
use
redirect it?
lightning.
Ooh, chain lightning with that
Give me a deck
shit.
save. Why?
Cause so obviously there's some really good stuff in here. I think that the team over at Nord Games really just hit the ball out of the park. I feel like, would you agree this is probably a one-stop shop book for any dungeon master or game master of
You could literally form an entire campaign out of this book at will.
yes.
I kind of want to
And
buy this book. How much is this book run?
I'm not sure. I kickstarted it, so it's $60
It's a $60 book for that big.
for
Holy
450 pages of awesome.
And they
think I
do
just
have some
screamed
pre-generated
myself.
material in the back of the book too, to be fair.
They got what?
Yeah, they got pre-generated material.
Oh yeah, that was the last section. So if you just need something on the fly instantly, The pre-generated stuff is really awesome. So they did the roles, they came up with the details and lore, and really fleshed their
Cool.
little areas out, and they did a phenomenal job. I personally recommend everyone pick this up if you're a game master. If you're not a game master, get this for your game master because it'll just make your games better. Especially, I think, if you're a player that's big into lore and exploration, because this really fills a lot of those those two pillars, right?
Yep.
Do you guys have any other closing comments?
Yeah, there's a lot of pre-generated stuff in the back of the book.
Yep. For your own campaign today. Roll your own campaign today.
Ooh.
Roll with it.
I think that's awesome. So, I want everyone to know that normally we had made changes to our show where we do the UTT separate. We will not be doing that today. We will be returning to the classic method. If you want to pick up this book, please head on over to rebrand.ly/dangerous destinations. Pick it up. Tell them Crit Academy sent you. That earns us some cool points. Yeah, I think that'll do it for our main topic today, you guys.
Before we cut out this, pre-generated destinations, page 254 to 421. That's a lot of shit for $60.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm buying this book.
Okay, you do that.
I'll even tell them that you sent me.
Yeah, you should. I bought it. So should you. And you. If you're listening to this right now, pull over to the side of the road because I'm sure you're listening in this car, or if you're washing dishes, dry your hand, pull out your phone, go to rebrand.ly/dangerous destination and be like, bam!
Yeah.
Hey, Crit
That
Academy.
is what you heard.
Wait, did I hear the UTTs getting today? Yes, you did hear that right. If you don't know what our UTTs are, we'll tell you just shortly. But first,
There's no cure for it.
there's no cure. Once we give you a
That's
good
funny.
UTT, you're stuck with it forever.
I'm glad this joke never died.
Mine still itches.
I like your reaction to my first pointed out. Like, you tell me this now after how many episodes?
Right.
Because it never occurred to you until that for some reason.
No, because my brain doesn't go to UTT being an STD, all right? All right, so before we move on to our unearthed tips and tricks, I want to take a moment to let you guys know our extraordinary player options came out on our website. There's the dab. Yep. It's a compilation of not only the character subclasses from our extraordinary expeditions, but we tossed in some really good ones on top of it. If you're looking to change the way you play with rogues, the Sawbones healing rogue that stitches and makes poultices to heal your allies is absolutely awesome. They also have like a bloodletting ability that can just instantly kill stuff. A lot like Power Word Kill the spell.
Yep.
And it's limited at just as much. But I don't know, it just seems pretty nice. I highly recommend it if you wanted to play a hunter
Yep.
class where you build traps and set them in advance and lure monsters in. The huntsman is awesome. So
And Gold Star Andrew, the first UTT we gave him was harpies. He has it for life.
oh man, once that stuff gets in your ears too, it's really bad.
Amazing, guys. Thanks. I miss you, TTZ.
Oh, I'm sorry, they itch. All right. So yeah, consider checking out our extraordinary player options. I promise you'll love it because we wrote it. Moving on.
Just like hit your shoulder while you're patting yourself on the back there.
No, I'm too fat. I can't. It doesn't reach. I can only pat myself on the back of the neck and make it red. Yeah. All right, so on to our unearthed tips and tricks. For those of you that are listening for the first time, our unearthed tips and tricks are monsters, player tips, dungeon master tips, magic items, everything you need to scratch that itch.
This went south really fast.
All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is the Bullywog Scion. That's right, you guys. Bullywogs that will psionically lick you.
That's got worse.
Do bullywogs have long frog tongue? Anyways, the frog people, magic basically. So you're gonna want to start with the mage stat block. If you want all the details, head on over to our website at Crit Academy and check out our blog. You can find all the details here. We're going to go through this pretty quickly. You're starting with the mage stat block. We're going to get rid of the dagger and the spell list. We want to change all that. Of course, because it's a bullywog, this thing can breathe air and underwater, right? Which gives it a huge advantage in combat. And what I really think makes this really cool is we give it a little extra defense with the psionic defense, but I very much harnessed my inner Pokemon here and gave it disorienting bubble blast. So plus 10 cool Pokemon points this way. Gotta catch them all, bitches. Not STDs though. You don't want to catch them all. So the disorient and bubble blast basically is a ranged attack that it does psychic damage and forces a constitution save, you guys. That on a failure, the character rolls on the short-term madness table. And if they fail by 5 or more, it's on the long-term madness table instead.
Oof.
How does that
Mind
sound, you
it's
guys?
a +7 to hit. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to hit you. So what do you guys think about that right off the bat?
Well, this creature became way more dangerous.
Well, yeah, because if you don't know, some of those madness rolls are brutal. So of course, because we're dealing with a scion, we have to do a little more than that, right? We have to give them catapult. We got to give them dissonant whispers, let you hear those croaks inside your head. We'll give it, dimension door, mirror image, phantasmal force to make you see every terrible, itchy thing in your nightmares.
You actually made me feel bad for casting past Hell before.
Damn it, Andrew. That's like asking if you use lightning and water if it still hurts the bad
guy. Okay, poor poison in the water. Does it still poison them? Actually, we also gave them immunity to poison.
Oh, I guess not.
And then we'll top it off. Of course, a scion has to have mass suggestion. What do you guys think about this? How would you use this in your game?
I keep thinking of a frog dressed as Sailor Mercury using mercury bubbles.
Mercury bubble. Like totally, I can. Yeah, I don't know. What about you, Ian?
This thing's dangerous. I can definitely see it in charge of as a leader of other bullywogs.
That definitely fits the theme. The one thing that I think I would do
with mass suggestion, who says those minions though are there
willingly? I like that. So now the players end up fighting these mind-controlled bullywogs and slaughter them just to find out it wasn't their fault.
Yep.
I love moral ambiguity. I like to make my player characters and their players feel like
turn
real
that into a whole ass adventure.
Yeah.
You have a green bullywug scion, right?
Yes.
And it's green, and you're fighting a green one with a bunch of brown ones that look like toads or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you cut off all the toads, and the green one's like runs away. Like, what the hell's that about? Turns out that he used mass suggestion on an enemy, a rival tribe. And let's go get these guys. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. It's like, haha.
Oh no! Or he goes through tribe to tribe and uses them to defend himself as the adventurers slice through innocence. Tribe after tribe after tribe. Until every tribe hates the adventurers.
Andrew, give it subtle spell. Cast subtle catapult on a rock or whatever behind the target you want to damage. The target has no way of knowing where they're being hit from.
Ooh, I like that. Kaboom, yo.
What is subtle spell?
It's a sorcerer ability.
It basically means you can cast it without a verbal component.
Oh.
So nobody hears it. So all you hear is all right, that'll do it for our monster. The Bullywog Scion. If you love monsters, you want more of them, we have hundreds of them. Become a patron, get lore, backstory, all this fantastic stuff, including some awesome art over at patreon.com/CritAcademy. Pick up a tier that fits your wallet and help support the show because this shit costs money.
We are some pretty cheap hoes, though, so.
Yeah, you get us at a discount. We promise we won't give you a UTT.
I thought that was a selling point.
Oh, wait, yes. We'll make sure we'll give you all levels of UTT. You'll be scratching for hours. All right. So, our encounter is a little different today, you guys. It's a noble in distress. So, what this means is you toss this together when your characters are on an adventure, traveling through a bustling city, and they come across a commotion in the town center, right? There's always kind of something going on in these big cities. And a group of ruffians are surrounding a noble-looking person, somebody with a bit of presence, I guess you could say,
Pizzazz.
demanding Ruby Rod here. Tell me, my man. A
Thrill.
group of ruffians surrounded him and demanding payment for protection. Right, this is their house. So what? Before I continue, what would you guys do as players?
A
You over-
noble! He's being mugged! He will reward us if we protect him.
Honestly,
pretty good.
It sounds like a reverse mugging. Like, oh, he's being mugged. Well, let's take care of them and then mug them ourselves.
Damn it, you guys suck. So that's kind
that's
of
the
right.
truth.
You
That's
know,
what
the
most players
noble.
do.
You know, the noble's a wealthy, merchant and pleads for help. Blah blah blah. But here's the twist, you guys. The noble is not as innocent as they seem.
Yep.
The
What
noble
a
is actually
dick.
working with
What a
the
dick.
thieves
Oh
guild,
my god!
paying them to stage the protection rackets and extort money from other merchants. The noble now finds themselves in hot water with the guild, right? As they have failed to pay their full cut of the profits. The noble begs the party to help them and escape the city, offering a generous reward. Should they be,
I wonder what the reward be if you turn them in.
Money!
reward? Yeah.
Okay, so
But
either way,
the
players are getting
reward for
something.
turning him in won't be as much as it will be for helping him escape.
Ah, fuck.
Because crime pays way more than honesty, I'm going to be honest. Not that I have any experience with that in real life. I just watched a lot of TV growing up.
I'm not helping you. I'll pay you with what? Money. Done!
I
That's
like
a great
it.
way to test people's morals. Like, you're going to get paid either way, but one's kind of evil, the other one's kind of good.
Well, not necessarily evil, just indifferent, right? I don't care if you're extorting. That's not my money you're pulling out, but you're about to fill my pocket up, and I'm okay with that.
Yep.
Right?
Look, man, I did the job.
Cheap
I
and
got
easy.
paid.
And that's usually what it comes down to, right?
Yep.
So I think that'll do it for our encounter.
How much they earn.
Yeah.
They get 500 gold pieces if they help the noble, and 250 if they turn them in.
Yeah, half as much.
Yep.
Doesn't that sound great?
Yep.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Wait.
All right. And now, our next UGT, our match item, the Blade of the Endless Sky. This is a pretty long entry.
You can summarize it. What's the
Basically, it's a long sword that has a lot of just made up like shimmering blue metal. And when wielded, you gain the ability to open portals to other dimensions and planes of existences.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And you basically have access to a few multiple spells. One being Dimension Door. Now, if you don't remember, you can basically teleport within 500 feet to somewhere else. You can cast Plane Shift. And last but not least, you can also cast Etherealness.
all of these are awesome.
And high level.
Yeah. I mean, it is worth noting that you can only use the spells once.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a balance there, kind of, but still, being able to plane shift once is strong.
Yeah.
Etherealness gives you all sorts of advantages in spying and stuff.
Yep.
There is worth noting though that there's a
Get back.
additional point to this that you have to consider when using it. Opening these portals comes with a risk, doesn't it, Ian?
It's Cthulhu!
Yep.
The user must succeed on a wisdom saving throw every time they use the blade's portal abilities.
Yep.
And the difficulty increases every time, right?
Yep.
That sucks.
If the user ever fails the saving throw, the portal they've created becomes unstable, collapses, and potentially causes harm to the user and anybody else nearby. So, if anybody reads the the Wheel of Time series,
Yep.
they open portals between, and they actually have one go unstable, and it just demolishes an entire army.
Yep.
That's kind of what's going on here.
I like the on your face when you said that.
I'm just saying. So, despite the dangers, it's a heavily wanted weapon, though, right?
And it turns. Well, it's also worth noting that one character regained their memories and realized that they could weaponize those portals by opening them in the middle of armies because the edge was so thin it just cut through them literally. Boom.
Quite literally. And this
Plane
does.
shift can be dangerous for other people.
Yeah, you can ask him. They all ended up on the wrong place.
'Cause if you remember,
Twice.
with plane shift, you can send someone to a different plane, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it also stipulates in the spell that once they get there, they have to find their own way back. They don't just pop back to where they go.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. really quick. I know we're running out of time, but you got to hear it. So for our big patron game, right? A huge shout out to what to our buddy Garwin, and to our editor who's in this group.
Duh.
Thank you, Ellie. You guys are awesome. So they were in the Feywild, and I have been wanting to use the banishment spell again since our plane shifting game. But it didn't occur to me that they were in the Feywild. So when I cast banishment on one of the players, he popped back in the material plane in the middle of the big boss fight. And I just like, shit.
Okay, no, I do want to point out that with the plane shifter campaign, when I brought back in my old character, I was like, oh, he knows banishment. I should probably not use this because it would break the campaign.
Yeah. Now, what was funny though is the character is the barbarian. And he's ragey, and he smashes things.
Yep.
He's in the middle of fighting, so we come out of the outhouse that the portal dropped, the spell dropped him in, and he started killing the innocent villagers. So he was surrounded by soldiers in the middle of combat. It was great. It was awesome. Anyways, so yeah, that'll do it for our awesome sword today, the Blade of Endless Sky.
Actually, that is a question I've had one of my players ask before.
What's
And is there a portal spell that you can open and you close at will, or does it close when you're done using it? Because Andrew says, could you push an enemy through a portal, close it when they're halfway through, and cut them in half?
I think all those spells specifically say willing creatures.
Yeah.
I don't think you can force anybody, but I could be mistaken. I don't think I am, but that's usually how it is when you think you're right. But I believe that everything says willing, because if you could just teleport people unwillingly, you could just send them up in the sky and watch them fall to their death. I mean,
Well, that's the
you
same
probably
thing
could in
with,
earlier editions.
Plane shift requires a wisdom save, I think it is, for an unwilling creature.
well, there's a chance then,
So,
but it's still for the spell to take
and then
effect.
management, but yeah.
Anyway, so
Yeah,
I
maybe.
actually don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I would say depending on what the player's trying to do, if they're trying to use a high level spell slot to finish off somebody and they have access to say fireball and it would do enough damage, I would totally be like, yeah, why not?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because if they're gonna blow them up anyway, does it really matter if they open a portal up at their waist and?
Yep.
I mean, I don't think so. All right. Moving on to our Dungeon Master tip: create a pantheon and religions. Why is this important, you guys?
Well,
paladins, clerics. That's one.
I meant like create your own for your worlds, but yeah, okay,
basically, it helps set up a culture and belief system that you can play off of.
absolutely. Especially as the players delve in and visit different areas, right, in the world, because when they explore, those cultures and beliefs should be changing
Yep.
place to place that they go, and that can make the world feel unique and fun, but also it creates interesting ways to expand the game. Now, I'm not saying you need to create an entire book of these. You can do each deity with one line. One line.
Yep.
Let's use Greek gods. Ares, the god of war. Everyone, once you hear that, knows exactly what kind of people are going to follow him. What type of deity that character is, don't you?
Athena's better.
I think she got tacked on as the goddess of war later, because that's another thing. Because originally she was like the goddess of wisdom and battle strategy or something.
She's both.
Whatever. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is with a single description,
Yep.
you can know the type of people that follow and can shape your entire regions of your world.
Yep.
Aphrodite, right? The goddess of love. Guess what the people that are following her like to do?
Bards.
they like to get UTTs. So what do you guys think about this? Because I know it seems like it's just this really hard, bad thing to do. And it doesn't even have to be an entire pantheon. You could do like two duality, right?
Well, something else too is like the reason why by default in lots of lore in D&D over the years anyway, it is like orcs tend to be evil because the god who created them made them that way by design.
Okay.
So,
I like that. Also, your fire dwarfs suck. All right.
That could bring up a really good adventure.
What's that?
And that is, you got a bunch of people they're following this new religion, right? And their god is still living. And it's just some dude who's been jerking their chain the whole time.
I watched a movie long ago that was something like that. where the guy wasn't a god. He just lived a long time. He was immortal. So everyone thought he was a god, and he wasn't particularly nice. He just was having fun.
Dracula?
Wasn't Dracula? I don't remember what it was,
The
but
guy that
yeah,
broke mankind in Warhammer.
maybe. So what's really
There was the
cool about
vase.
it is it really just helps you fill in conflict and societal structures within your world, and you don't got to have them all built at once. Just every time you move to a new area. So, all right, that'll do it for our dungeon master tip. Build a pantheon. Yeah, Alicia said the same thing, so they're getting it again because
You're getting it again because it's
Yep.
that fucking important.
Well, that and we've done so many episodes.
yeah.
Forget what you make.
Well, and so anyways, that'll do it for our dungeon master tip. Our player tip of the podcast is
Don't be a dick.
and you can avoid dickitude by. I think it was tracking conditions. I think that's what we talked about.
Yeah.
By using bottle cap rings. So someone say fire dwarves. What about hell halflings? We have those. So tracking conditions in D&D can be kind of tough, especially when they start to stack on top of each other.
Oh yeah.
And it can be easy to forget which ones you have.
Mhm.
You guys drink soda?
No.
From time to time. What everyone else in my house does, so I have a whole bin full of pop bottles.
Yeah. So there's little rings around the pop bottle lid. You pull it off. They come in a multitude of colors depending on what drinks you use. Those are perfect to fit on a mini and use to track conditions. I think in 4th edition we used to use the red for bloodied, right?
Yeah, we did. We've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah. So
So save your wallet. You don't have to buy $50 rings.
fancy
Or like,
ring.
you bloodied. It says bloody. Just get a little red Mountain Dew code red.
Dying.
Just dying. There.
Or charmed effects, frightened, grappled, all those things. More importantly, it helps you remember those effects that we all forget.
Yep.
And it happens all the time. I forget
Aren't
the
you
things.
concentrating on a spell? I can't remember.
If you were concentrating a little better,
Yep. Yeah. And then it's like milk jug rings also work great. But it's actually
any
good-
ring, I guess, right?
or rubber
Any-
bands. They come in
yeah.
many colors.
Rubber bands are good. You know the problem with rubber bands is everyone starts flinging them around the room because I've used those before, and nobody can help but pull them and pop them around everywhere. So you know what you end up doing when everyone leaves? Clean up all the
Cleaning up.
damn rubber bands.
And I've definitely seen people make these rings too that are actually labeled. And actually, I've also seen like a few other things too where you can like 3D print them. And I've also seen
I was gonna say, if you have a 3D printer, it probably doesn't matter, does it?
yeah, I've also seen stands too that you can place minis on.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any other tips in this to emphasize the greatness? Since apparently we might have talked about it already. Because the fact that Alicia knew, I couldn't find it. I was like, whatever.
Yep.
It's because we probably had it under a different title.
And it also says tea light candles work great for concentration.
Yes, I know, because I definitely have covered that on the show. I've got a nice little designed one that I painted to look like a stone, and I put some glue and some red on it, and it looks like a little torch.
His is an actual like battery operated one.
Yeah.
Tea light.
They're safer than actual tea lights.
Well,
But that was fun.
My mini.
Not as fun. They can't burn the place down. All right. I think that'll do it for our player tip of the podcast.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick. And you can avoid dickitude by using pop bottle and drink bottle cap rings for tracking conditions and
Pop bottle tamper seals. There you go.
Beer bottle caps for enemy markers.
all right. So I want to get serious for a
I
second.
attacked the
you guys here.
Heineken. Why not the Guinness? The Heineken. The Heineken.
So it's a Budweiser cap. Giant frogs.
That's funny.
I like that.
You got the reference.
Oh shit.
All right, so we need to calm down for a second. We need to take a moment to acknowledge that one of our longtime patrons, Drake and Dragon, Matthew Trimper, actually passed away recently, and I want to let him and let his family know that our prayers are with them and all of his friends. And it's never easy when you lose somebody.
No.
But fortunately for us, we can keep him alive in our hearts. He's a really cool guy. Chatted with him a little bit on TikTok. So may you roll lots of nat 20s wherever you're at, buddy. Thank you for everyone for all your support. People like Drake and Dragon are the reason we continue to do this. So our prayers are with him, and thank you guys. All right. Now let's try to raise the energy back up because we are just a few weeks away from episode
300.
fucking hundred.
How the fuck did that happen?
How?
What is your profession?
What is your profession? Anyway,
Sorry.
so we are looking back
Poor
on
Ellie.
some of our
Like, what the
favorite
fuck?
moments on the show, and we would also like to hear from you about your favorite moments and topics on our show. Please, you can email us, message us. You can email us at critacademy@gmail.com or contact us on social media. Put the subject, episode 300, memories or something like that, so it's easy to identify. We want to hear from you guys because we have all of our favorite moments. But what are yours?
You know, it's funny. I was talking to Austin
Yeah,
at
I
Barnes
bet you
Noble the
were.
other day, and we are talking about I was talking about episode 300. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're talking about our favorite moments. And he's like, oh, how's that working out? I don't know. Like, yeah, there's a lot, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my plan right now. Am I revealing this or no? Okay. I have been told by the Empress that I cannot reveal what I was about to.
The Empress.
So that'll do it for our show today, you guys.
Don't know how to be critic.
Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know we did.
Yep.
If you enjoy the show and you'd like to support us, please visit critacademy.com. Pick up our extraordinary player options that we just released or some of our other content. Visit our DMs Guild content. Check that out. And subscribe. Hit the
Aw.
notification in the bell and the share. Share this episode as soon as it's done, right now. Go out and tell everyone you love and all your friends. I listen to these guys because I'm cool and you should be too. Join the party.
Good night, Kathy.
Andrew says, in honor of your fallen patron, an episode on adventures of Galdar might be cool. It's a subreddit for characters of passed away people so they can be used as NPCs in other games.
We covered that book.
It's nice.
We covered that book.
Yeah,
We did.
again, 300 episodes. I don't know.
Baldur's Gazetteer.
Ugh.
Yep, written by our friend Zipperon Disney.
It's a subreddit.
I know, but Galder is the person that book was written for.
Yeah.
And that's why there's a subreddit for it, I believe. Because that's actually like
That's cool.
it was a brother, a relative, or something. Anyways, I could be mistaken, but if I remember, it was based on him.
Yep.
All right, and one of his characters, I think. Anyways, that'll do it for our show tonight. I'm your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Ian.
I'm your co-host, Brandon. Thanks for listening.
Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.
Yeah.